Hello, everyone. My name's Dustin,
I'm Trisha.
and this is our new channel. This is going to be the story of our lives. In this one, we're going to be talking about how we met, where we met, all the way up to the time we got married.
Many
Yeah,
years ago.
yeah, it's been a while. You want to go first, dear?
That was me.
All right, I can go first.
Okay.
Okay, so the day we met, it was sometime in October 2007. Can't remember the exact date, I'm sorry. It's my memory, and she can't even remember, so I'm not in trouble this time.
Remember our
like
anniversary.
like most husbands would be, but I do remember our wedding anniversary, so that's important. And her birthday.
Yeah.
That's really important. So, but anyway, I was busy outside all day, just working around, and I was off work, and at the end of the day, I went in, I got cleaned up, went upstairs, and anyone remember MySpace? Yeah, I was on MySpace. I had never heard of Facebook. In fact, I'm not even sure Facebook was out yet, to be honest with you. Actually, MySpace was my first social media experience in my life. Unless you want to call Yahoo Messenger social media, which I don't think so. Anyway, I had
It didn't freeze.
I was freshly divorced. I'm sorry about that. I thought our computer froze again. And has done that a couple times on this already on this video. So anyway, strike that. Forget what I just said. I went up and I was just freshly divorced, just maybe a month, give or take. And I was looking for friendship, maybe some companionship. Didn't matter if it was guys, girls, whatever. I just wanted to hang out with someone. I'd lost track of all my old friends from my previous marriage. Was married almost 10 years and was with her, I don't even know how long prior to that. It don't matter. You just lose contact. And during the divorce, her family don't want to hang out with people anymore. And some do, some don't. But I felt uncomfortable going around any of them. So, I had nobody except for my parents and my family. And again, you see them all the time. You want someone new. So I got on MySpace and I'd already been burned. I can't tell you how many times on MySpace. Yahoo Messenger I got burned on a few times too. Who hasn't? But that particular day, I already had her as a friend on there, but she hadn't communicated with me yet. I think I've tried Messenger a couple times, just like everyone else, but no response. And she wanted to meet up. She wanted to meet me, and so we went and met. For her, she says it was love at first sight. I found her. We met. We talked for hours. We went to a little trail with a waterfall there, the state's highest waterfall. Showed her that area. She lives just down the road from it at that time, but never been there. And we had our first kiss.
Yeah.
And she said it was
Love at first kiss.
yes, yes. And I'll let her take over for a moment and let her try to tell you what she remembers.
I remember messaging him. I myself had been married but been divorced since 2004, and I thought it was about time for me to get out there and do something. And well, I went through a list of people on MySpace, and I found him. And I was really hesitant because I was in a very my prior marriage. I was abused badly through physical and mental and everything else. I didn't know what he was like.
You name it, the kind of abuse you heard of it.
Yeah,
It happened.
Yeah, I had literally was scared to proceed it, even though I was ready to move on. And when I actually told him, "Hey, let's meet," we met. Like you said, we went down to the falls, and there was trails down there. We walked for, oh God, it feels like
Wow.
forever. And we kissed there. That was our first kiss.
And we kissed over overlook of the falls.
Yes, and it was romantic. Um, I I then said, I'm getting kind of hungry. Let's go. Here he is with the nice clothes on. I didn't look kind of presentable, I guess,
It's
because,
okay.
um, but I said, let's go back to my place. Let's get something to eat. And I don't know if any of you guys remember, but those TVs that I had that was really, really small, and it wasn't a flat TV. It was one of those
Analog.
analog TVs, but it was so small. And I was kind of embarrassed by it, but that's the only thing that I had.
I had one similar to it at home at the
Yeah.
time, and I was living with my parents. That's even more embarrassing, you know.
Yeah.
And my bigger TV I had, well, I lost it in a divorce. So, along with everything else. So,
Yeah.
anyone that's been through it, I feel you.
Yeah. So we even had supper tonight. I think I was the one that cooked.
Yeah,
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 and
yeah.
I cooked, but I didn't know how picky he was.
I wanted, if, if on retrospect, thinking about it, I should take her out to a restaurant. But,
My cooking that bad?
no.
It was.
Well, all right. When you take a pizza that says do not microwave and put it in the microwave, it's not the best in the world. I don't like microwave pizza anyway.
We didn't
So,
have pizza that night,
yes, we did.
did we?
Tostino's Pizza.
Oh yeah, we did.
I
Okay.
remember.
And I was always afraid of because I was afraid of a stove. My prior husband had every time I'd done something wrong, he'd put my arm over the stove to make sure that I wouldn't do it again. And I, to this very day, have a fears of stoves. But he's my cook. And he cooks really good food. And I guarantee that that pizza wasn't really good for him.
I
But
ate it,
he ate
and I
it.
ate it a few other times too. But after a while, I started putting so.
And later on, the more that night we ate, watched TV, and we talked, and we literally found out there was more of a connection. We acted like we knew each other forever, and
She,
that's weird.
she had an abusive life. I didn't, and not in that way. I had a harder life in a different way,
Hmm.
but because of how my life was and how her life was, although they were different backgrounds, different situations, I wasn't getting physically beat the crap out of or abused. It was on a different level, and I may discuss that later, but not at this moment. But because that's a whole nother story of my childhood.
Yeah,
You know, but I wasn't beaten by my parents, so don't be taking that the wrong way. It's just a little bit different than that. But because of our backgrounds, we connected.
yeah, we did. We had
Yes.
literally, we. I couldn't believe how much we connected, how we were really getting along, and it was great. That's something that I've never ever had in anybody. And it wasn't very long after when that night he said that he worked second shift and that if he can come back the next night. I really didn't think he was going to come back. And sure enough, there's a knock at the door, and those butterfly anxious feeling
Wondering
that
if
you
that
get.
was me or not.
Yeah, and I opened the door. I'm like, "You're here."
Yes, I am.
And again, we had something to eat. He actually cooked that night, if I remember right.
I think so.
Yeah. Or no, we ordered.
No, 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 because I it was.
Oh, that's right. He cooked,
And
and
go ahead.
he cooked. We ended up watching more of TV on my little TV, and we talked more. I mean, we didn't really have. We weren't lovey-dovey and all that stuff. We really wanted to get to know each other
Yes, yes,
and know
that's
our
key.
past, because if he didn't know my past, he wouldn't know how to handle me. in the future or now. So we talked a lot about our
Yes.
past.
And I'm different than most guys. You know, I told her right off the bat, first time, first day, you know, I don't want to rush anything. I want to take things slow.
Yeah,
You know, sex wasn't on my mind,
yeah,
so that could wait. It could have waited even longer. You know, months,
yeah,
months, and months. As long as we got the full connection and we knew we were going to be right for one another.
yep,
And like I said, it was love at true first sight for her, love at first kiss, and it hasn't ended.
right.
Not at all.
We actually, there was a couple times that we, uh, what was it that night that that you ended up leaving, going home, and it was getting colder out. And I remember that time that, the next couple of days we were texting and talking to each other and whatnot. I'm more of a texting person than what he is. And, but
Winter was hard.
I end up, because I knew I was in love with him. I went out of my way and walked in the snow, in the cold, and I was starting to walk to his house, and I was so scared that I'm going to end up being sick the next day. And I ended up, some girl ended up taking me clear to Attica to his house, and we
Yeah.
spent time there.
Yeah,
So
and you know, it was just a harsh winter, and I hate getting out in that stuff. And why risk personal injury? You
yeah,
know, even if it's for someone you love. Now, if there was an emergency, oh yeah, I'd be the first one there. You can ask her. I've
yeah,
I've done it. I've gotten out in the worst of winter conditions, and taken me 3, 4, 5 times longer than what it normally would in decent weather to get there, just to rescue her and the boys. But yeah, I'll do it.
hmm.
I'll do it. But just to see one another and that kind, no. And she shouldn't have walked that day. But
I was
I was happy to
eager.
see her, but we could have waited a few more days. But no, she didn't want to.
When I had my mind set on something, I go and do it. So he also has two girls out of his first marriage, and I have two boys out of my first marriage. And we literally, he got to see his girls every other weekend, which, we had to be very diligent with
Delicate
that.
with them
Yeah,
because it was a fresh divorce. And
yeah,
her boys weren't living with her and hadn't been living with her for the longest time, so it wasn't that big of a transition for
yeah.
them.
And to to keep it that way, when to explain that is that when I got my divorce, I was being stalked from my husband. He was finding me, and I didn't want my kids to be in harm's way.
I get it.
So my mom took over for a little bit until I knew I was safe. And his girls came every other weekend, and so we played it as we were friends and stuff. And
At first,
at first, and then I got to actually meet his family. His mom and dad, I absolutely loved. His sister.
man,
Other than that, it was really good for a while, and I'll let him finish the rest of the story.
she lived in a little one-bedroom apartment. It wasn't that big. You
Yeah,
know, bathroom wasn't that bad. The bedroom was okay size. Living room area, dining room, all into one was actually pretty nice. The kitchen sucked. Couldn't even move in there.
mm,
Typical small apartment, one bedroom apartment, kitchen. So, that's where she lived for the longest time since her divorce.
yep,
Same place. And, we had to get out of there. We were having her boys come over more often, and we was having my girls come over more often, sometimes at the same time. One bedroom, and then one living
yeah,
room for most, we had to get out of there. And so I went looking and come across Well, actually, my parents told me about it, and we went and looked at it. It wasn't that bad, except when we first walked in, the person that just moved out had been nasty because, the rent was going to be great for an actual house with an actual yard, where you can, with a department, you couldn't do nothing. You weren't allowed to wash your vehicles. You weren't allowed to do nothing. You had no yard there. You had to leave to go do anything. You were either stuck inside for the day or you left and had to leave the grounds to actually do anything there. I mean, the place sucked. I'll just flat out say it. Well, whoever this person was that moved out had been because that place was full of roaches and we hate
Can't
roaches.
stand bugs.
But I was persistent. I got rid of them, and our landlord, he wasn't going to, but he got exterminated over there when we almost finished got rid of them. And we put maybe a month's worth of work into that house
Yeah.
before we started renting, before we even moved in. We didn't want our stuff in with roaches
No.
or anything else. But, that's a house that I believe it was either that winter, no, the next winter, because it was closing in on winter when we first moved in. It was early fall, so winter was coming in. So it was the next winter. I proposed to her. And,
Yeah.
she said yes, of course. It was an odd proposal, but, it wasn't your atypical proposal, so to speak. I'm going to say this, and I don't recommend this for anyone else. We both are smokers. We both smoke cigarettes. Don't do it. It's stupid. We're
Yeah.
stupid, but we don't smoke in our house.
No.
We will not. Even at that place. Even when the kids weren't even living with us. We didn't smoke in the house. We smoked in that apartment. We didn't care about that place. But she was already smoking in there anyway, and her boys weren't coming and see her. Her boys do have breathing problems, so when we moved into this house, we decided we're not smoking in there. But we did. This was another bad winter. The day I proposed, she was heading down into the basement. We did have an area down there where we can smoke. It didn't drift up into the upstairs, so we wouldn't be outside in the freezing cold. And she was walking away, and I remember she goes, "You know what? I want to get married, and if that means leaving you because you said you never get married again, so be it." And I'd been thinking about it for a while. She didn't know I was thinking about it, and she probably don't even realize I was thinking
Nope.
about it until just now. I let the cat out of the bag, ladies and
Oh
gentlemen.
man.
But I was actually already thinking about it and already looking at rings that I couldn't afford. But yeah. So she was heading down to the basement to have a cigarette, and I was sitting on the couch watching TV or something. I don't remember. And I just yelled across the room, "Will you marry me?" And as she's walking down the stairs, she goes, "Yes!" So I grabbed my cigarettes and followed her down. That's how that worked.
It was weird. It's not one of those romantic ones that you
No.
see everybody else doing. It was unique, you know.
But, so we were planning our wedding, trying to figure out dates and times and all that. And this is 2011, okay? When we're trying to decide all this, 2012 was closing in quick. And my family's like, you name the date, name the time, name the place, we'll be there. No problem.
Yeah.
Not her mom. We was going through her mom to communicate with the family instead of communicating with the family.
Family.
That was our mistake. It's
Yeah.
already in the past, so I was going to say we won't make that mistake again, but we're not going to get remarried again
No.
because we're not getting divorced. But her mom said, "Oh no, that won't work. That date won't work. No one will show up.
Oh,
No,
that
it's too
crushed me.
far for this place."
Yeah.
So, her mom made one little mistake. Not a mistake in my book, but one little mistake. She said, "Nobody, you guys already both been married once. Nobody's going to go to the wedding. So don't even plan it. Why do that? Why don't you just go to Vegas and get married? Like,
Yep.
my dream destination."
Yes. It was Las
Oh
Vegas.
man, I wanted to go there forever. Can't afford it. So Uh, she said, I said, all right, let's do it. She goes, what? Now, we were planning this in 2011. This is early 2012 when her mom says this.
Mhm.
January. Maybe going close to February 2012. I can't remember exactly when her mom suggested. And I looked at her and said, listen, we got our tax money coming back. Because I can claim
Yeah.
her, living with her and all that. And I was claiming one of my kids at the time, not both. I was getting okay amounts back. I looked at her and said, you know what? I don't care. Let's use our tax money. Let's start looking at the trip, looking at the hotels, looking at the flights, looking at the packages.
That's
Oh,
what stopped me.
that's yeah, she wanted to take a train. Let me tell you about this. We would have had to drive to either Crawfordsville and hop on a train to take us to Chicago and sit there for 3 or 4 or 5 hours before we got on a train. It didn't even take you to Vegas. It took you to a couple towns prior to it. Then you get on a bus. The bus
To
takes you
leave
to
it.
the airport.
And
The
then
airport? Come
you
on.
have to get on a plane.
And
So
then from there, you have to book another ride to get to your hotel. Oh, and by the way, I only had, was going to be in Vegas 4 days, 3 nights. And that's all the time I can get off because I didn't have vacation. I was a temp where I worked. So I had to ask for this week off. All right. And the train was going to take 3 days to get there, 3 days to get back, plus our time there. Do the math.
it's been a while.
So I said, yeah, we're flying, baby. She didn't like that
I
idea.
was actually getting sick.
Okay, so she's not afraid of heights. She'll go on roller coasters. She'll do all that shit. I'm sorry for cussing, so I do apologize. I, she won't go on a plane. I, on the other hand, I'm scared to death of heights. Won't do roller coasters. Won't do anything high. I even hate going on ladders to get on the roof of our house to do anything. It just scares me. Even more now, I'm getting older for whatever reason. I used to do it a little bit easier, but not now. But I love to fly. I really do. I couldn't wait. Yeah, not her. So I finally, after trying to look through agencies, because we decided which place we wanted to go to. And if you've seen our picture collage at the beginning of this, you've seen the picture of the Luxor. That's where we decided to stay.
Hmm.
And there's several reasons behind that, and it's something we just discussed. And we love pyramids. We love Egypt.
Yeah, definitely.
We want to stay in a pyramid,
Yep.
hands down. That's the simplest explanation. And
And
Chris Angel plays there. We
yes.
wanted to see him, so we put that in our vacation package, so it's all paid for. Yeah, that was awesome. If you haven't seen Chris Angel, you got to go see that man.
Hmm.
So after going through agencies and different things, Expedia and all, God, it was so expensive. I didn't think we was going to be able to do it. Plus, we had to get our marriage license through Nevada, through Henderson County in Nevada. Keep it going. And, we had to prepay for all that, which I'm glad we did, because otherwise you have to wait a few days once you get there. Otherwise, online ones, yeah, we went straight in, picked it up, paid for it, and out the door we went. But so I went on Vegas.com. They had all the packages, and I tell you what, we found the perfect one. Hold on one moment. Our phone's going off. Hold on just. I apologize for that. You can't control a phone call. So, where was I? Oh, Vegas.com. We found the most perfect package. It had our round trip flight. We had a layover, of course, both directions, and included our hotel and included Chris Angel tickets. And it included all that. And so we hadn't had no snow, no ice, no nothing. This is early March. All right, early March. We leave on March. What? What's today? You should know this is our anniversary.
Uh,
Three
uh-oh.
three 5 2012.
Yes. I knew
We
that.
leave on that day from Indiana, from little town of Hillsboro to Indianapolis to catch our flight. Roads are iced over, snow on the ground. Oh man, what a mess. Took us twice as long to get there, but they say get there 2 hours early. Yeah, there's no night flights out of Indianapolis. It's all morning and day. We got there, nothing was open, not even the concourse. But we make our trip, and she booked the place where we got married. You booked
The little white chapel,
the
and it's
little
so
white
cute.
wedding chapel.
Yes, the little white wedding chapel. It was so
World
cute.
famous.
It was really cute.
Yes. So we get there. She's dead tired because she got sick on the flight. So on our layover, I got her Dramamine. Unfortunately, they didn't have non-drowsy at the airport. And our layover was in Phoenix. Was just going to Vegas, an hour or less. I mean, got there. All she
Yeah,
wanted to do was sleep, but we
sleep.
got there at least an hour, hour and a half before check-in, and we knew that. We weren't planning on going straight to the hotel and going to bed. I wanted to see Vegas. I mean, come on. She was kind of excited. She don't
Yeah,
let her fool you. She was excited about going and seeing somewhere different.
yeah.
And yeah, we got there, and I go up and do an early check-in and pay extra. No big deal. And so she goes up and sleeps. While she's sleeping, I sneak downstairs.
Oh
You
Lord.
can't smoke in the room. She can't smoke in the hotels, but you can smoke on the casino floor. So I went down and had a cigarette, and I was kind of looking around. I played a couple nickel slots real quick, but nothing amounting to nothing. I put $1 in, didn't win anything, no big deal. She didn't know this till just now while she was sleeping.
I don't gamble.
And then I went upstairs and took a shower, got dressed for what we was going to be wearing that day, got her woke up. She done, oh, wait a minute, no, we went down at 8. And then we took our showers and got dressed and got ready. And we decided to walk to the little white wedding chapel.
Don't do
Oh,
that.
no, especially the Luxor's on this side of the strip, on the south side. And the little white wedding chapel is way past the stratosphere on the north side of the strip. If you ever see pictures of Vegas, yeah, you see all the big hotels, casinos. If you've never been there, you don't realize how big each one is and how many there actually are and how far it actually is. But yeah, we went there and tell her what I asked him at the little white wedding chapel. This
I couldn't believe that he said this. I actually asked this. He goes, "Do we need to have a number?" And they all laughed and they thought that was the cutest thing. So when they called our number, it's
Yeah, they called me number one after that.
number one. Like, oh my gosh.
And we was walking. We didn't even make it halfway down the strip, and I got a taxi,
No.
took us over there. And after our ceremony and after everything was all said and done, but prior to it, I asked them. I said, "So afterwards, can you guys call us a taxi?" They said, "You contact us after your ceremony. We'll do you one better than that."
Yeah.
Okay. All right. They're going to get us a ride back one way or the other. I ain't walking. That's too far. And that day was hot. Ice and snow here, 80 some degrees there. Oh, I loved it. That was the only day it was 80 some degrees. It got cold afterwards. I see that. Anyway, uh, we come out and we go back to the counter and said, you know, you said come back and check with you about a ride. They said, see that bench right outside over there across the parking lot? I said, yeah. You two go have a seat right over there. A gentleman by the name of Tom will be around to pick you up in a few minutes. We didn't pay for this. They gave us a full-on black stretch limousine.
Yeah.
Actual limousine, not a bus like they call some, but an actual stretched limousine. Drove us around Vegas a couple times and then dropped us off at our hotel. So far, this is the story of how we met and got married. Do you want to add any more to this?
When it has to do with Las Vegas and our time of getting married, he can go on
Yes, I
forever.
can.
And especially when we got back, it was like Las Vegas, Las Vegas, Las Vegas. And I'm like, oh,
That and NASCAR. And it just
oh
happened
yeah.
to be NASCAR week in Las
Mhm.
Vegas. They was having a race, and the night we were going to be leaving, they had the parade for NASCAR. I've never got a chance to go to one of the races, but at least I got to see some of the drivers and all their cars all over town and their parade of vehicles coming through town. Awesome.
But as we end this video, because we're going a little too long, um, we are going to make more videos and continue about our lives and our marriage and
All the way up to present.
all the way up to the present. And we hope that with our new video, it can grow and you guys can grow with us and leave your comments below. We're hoping that we can actually put some good ideas in you guys' mind if you guys
Yes. And we
decide.
made an email just for this. We're going to
Yes.
put it in the link also. So if you have any questions for us, anything, doesn't matter what it is, just leave it in the email or in the comments below. We will answer you. In addition, we may be sneaking some extra videos in between our story because
Hmm.
we're planning on starting to vlog some of our life and trips. That's
Yes.
current.
That's going to be fun.
Yes.
So we will see you guys later, and please hit the subscribe and the bell so you guys can be notified of when we upload another video. We appreciate your time, and again, that we're sorry that we had it a little too long this time, but we did have a good time talking about it. It's been quite some
Oh,
time.
yes, it has. It's memory lane.
Right.
And I hope this brings all of you all back to your memories of when you met your love of your life and reminisce about it. Think about it.
Hmm.
I mean, it's surreal. It really is. You really go back and think about it. I mean, 2007 to 2018, I mean, that's 11 years.
And
And we're
question,
going on 6 years of marriage in just a couple months.
let's do a question for you guys. When and where did you actually meet your true love? And if you haven't found your true love, how would you like to meet that person?
And if you have met your true love, how long was it after meeting that true love did you actually propose and or get married? Or
Exactly.
if or did you get married?
All right. I'll see you guys later. Or we will see you guys
Yes,
later.
we will.
Bye.
Bye bye.